Towanna Murphy Show. That's what's up. Murphy Show.
That's what's up. The Towanna Murphy Show.
In the last 4 years, you've seen the true colors of everybody that didn't like us. So I'm not gonna say names right now, but only thing I'm gonna say is you better hope your ass don't get in trouble, and you need Murphy to get you out of it.
That's what's up. The Towanna Murphy Show. When you got to tune in, want the real in your host. What's going on, man? She knows the most. Memphis and Mid-South, tune in, cause the diva is on.
And good evening. You're watching the Towanna Murphy Show right here on SVP TV, Comcast 17, Comcast 31. You can also watch the show on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, On Demand, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Good evening, everyone. Of course, it is the one and only Towanna Murphy. This show is live all over the world, and it is seen by over 50 million people. But tonight, y'all, I have a special guest that's coming in right after my commercial break. But before we go into commercial break, let me just do this short commercial for Connor's Cleaning. Now, we have a cleaning services here. He's licensed and he's insured. He specializes in cleaning office buildings, medical buildings, factories, daycares, bowling alleys, night cleaning, day cleaning, emergency cleaning, whatever you need, Mr. Connor can clean it for you. You can call him at 901-596-9297. That's 901-596-9297. And many of you know it is election season. Election this year, election next year, and then we're done for about 2-3 years, and then we have to go back into this whole spiel all over again. But in the meantime, in between time, we are in early voting. This is early voting, and I can't stress the fact of how important it is for us to elect our local officials. Our local elections are the most important elections. I know many of us always just vote on presidents. Because it's the president season, we just gonna check the box. But you have to remember, before it gets to the president, it's always your local elections, your mayors, your senators, your city council officials, your state representatives, your school boards. Everything starts with them, and then it builds up to the White House. We talk about this all the time, and I told y'all before, we'll be talking about this periodically because we have issues in our city that we need to focus on. We have issues in our city that we absolutely have to deal with. And tonight, I have my special guest to be coming in after the commercial, which is Shelby County Mayor Merle Harris. And the questions that I have for him, and of course it's the same questions that we've all been asking, and he's going to address those and what he's trying to do and what he wants to do for this election. And he is encouraging you to vote for him. But the questions that I've been asking and we've been talking about for the longest, for the last years, is how can we make Memphis a better Memphis? How can we make Shelby County a better Shelby County? How can we get better education for our children, because we know that our children have failed below the mark this year. I mean, I think it's like 11% is what we said last time. 11% of those kids that passed that state test, that's ridiculous to us. It's ridiculous to me. And now we're hiring teachers that's not even qualified to come in and teach our kids because we have a shortage of teachers. But I disagree with that. I disagree with bringing somebody in with a high school diploma that's coming in to teach our kids because they actually really have no skills in teaching. How can you teach our kids? And you just coming in with a high school diploma. I still have a problem with that. And I just think that if we're going to do something like that, they need to go further training before we put them in the classrooms, because we don't even know how they deal with children, how they deal with teenagers, because we know these kids move differently. These kids move differently. I know they move differently. I have a summer reading camp, and I teach kindergartners through 5th grade, and they move differently. They move differently. These kids crazy. I'm just gonna be honest. They crazy. So if I have trouble dealing with them, but I don't have that much trouble because they already know I'm putting my foot down. I'm not playing with them. But how can we have a teacher that's coming in with just a high school diploma to come and teach our children? Because we have a shortage of teachers. Can they effectively teach our children? That's just one of the things and one of the issues that I have a problem with. And I think Merle Harris, he'll address that when we come after my commercial break. We'll address that and what's happening with the education in our city, the crime in our city. How can we minimize that? It's terrible to me. The drag racing, y'all know I got a problem with that. Drag racing, how they just take over our highways. We have a lot of things that we have to address and get together in our city. We have to make Memphis a better Memphis, and we have to hold our leaders accountable We have to hold them accountable for everything that they do. We have to hold them accountable. We have to make sure that they do their jobs, that they set out to do what they say they're going to do. And sometimes we know they fall short of that. And so when they fall short of that, it's up to the citizens to hold them accountable for it. You know, everybody's not perfect, and I tell y'all that all the time, because most of the time y'all say, well, Mayor Strickland didn't do this, or Mary Lee Harris didn't do this, or Parkinson didn't do this, and G.A. Hardaway didn't do this. Guess what? They make mistakes. They can't cover everything in the 4 years or the 2 years that they're in office. You have to position that the mayor's job is bigger than the state representatives and the city councils, because they have to make major decisions for all of us. So we can't just say that person did something wrong. Yes, we all make some bad decisions. I've made a lot of bad decisions, but you can't hold them accountable for some bad decisions that they made, and they can just go back and fix the mistakes. But y'all just think everybody got to be perfect, like y'all perfect. Y'all not perfect, but you can't ask them to fix it. You can't ask them to change it. But you just can't downgrade him. I ain't voting for him because he didn't do this for me. It ain't about you. It is not about you. Y'all make this stuff about you. It's not about you. It's about the city. It's about everybody. It's not about you. They're not here to make you happy. They're here to do their jobs. And that's what y'all fail to realize. I got to get ready to go to commercial break because Mary Lee Harris has somewhere to go, and I have to bring him in. So let me take a quick commercial break, get Mary Lee Harris set up, and we'll come back. Remember, news is news. Facts are facts. Miss Ruby sung the blues. And Towanna gonna bring you the news. I'll be right back right after this.
Hey folks, it's Issa Haddad here. I got some good news and a special invitation for you to come see me here at Sunrise Collierville. Come on down, check out my inventory with new, pre-owned, and certified vehicles to choose from. I can get you financed when no one else can. Come on by, bring your family. I treat you like family. Come see me, Issa, here at the #1 dealership in the Mid-South, 4605 Houston Levy Road, Sunrise Collierville. Come on down, check out my inventory with hundreds of vehicles to choose from, pre-owned, new, and certified.
Good news from Sunrise Chevrolet. Get in your new vehicle today. Come on in, ask for Issa. Bankrupt, slow pay, bad credit, it's okay. Let Issa put you in your brand new truck or car today when you shop at Sunrise Chevrolet Collierville.
And don't forget, ask for me, Issa.
Can you actually imagine hosting your next event at the all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center? Yes, spacious, beautiful venue with plenty of parking, located in the heart of East Memphis. Let us host your next intimate birthday gathering, family repast, bachelorette party, wedding and reception, baby shower, corporate meeting, social club event. Call us today. Don't wait. 901-244-6874. The all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center.
And we're back. You're watching the Towanna Murphy Show right here on SVP TV, Comcast 17, Comcast 31, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Prime, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and more. And remember, y'all can download this app. If you want to watch this show live right now, you can download the app on your Apple phone, your Androids, or you can go to your smart TVs and download SVP TV, and you can watch this show live right now. In fact, Mayor, 50 million people are watching this show live right now on Roku, so they can see you all over the world right now. Everybody see you. So I'm gonna introduce my guest. Look, he's a I'm gonna introduce you my guest, y'all. He is the Shelby County Mayor. He is Mayor Lee Harris. Thank you, Mayor Lee Harris, for coming.
I'm pleased to be here. Thanks for having me. Shelby County is a great place. It's been my honor to serve as a county mayor for the last 4 years, and now I'm on the best television show on TV.
Yes.
So I'm living the dream.
You live the dream. We are in the early stages of voting right now, early voting. And some people that know you, like such as myself and other people, but the ones that don't know you, let them know what your platform is and what you plan to change in the city.
That's great. So Shelby County is the largest county in our state with about 950,000 residents, 7 great cities. Of course, the most important city in Shelby County is the city of Memphis, where we are filming this today. And I am running for re-election. We've been working really hard on things like transit. I'm happy to talk about that. Early childhood education, paid family leave, and also being really the tip of the spear, driving a conversation about minimum wage of $15 an hour is something I've been fighting for. At the same time, we're going to fight for health care access to make sure more people have access to health care. I hope I get a chance to talk about that, why that's very important. And we're going to fight for jobs, and jobs specifically for individuals in our community with a criminal history. We've got tens of thousands of individuals with a criminal history. It's hard for them to reintegrate back into community without some supports. And so if I'm reelected, knock on wood, and I'm working really hard to make that happen, I'm going to try to make sure we expand the services available for those with a criminal history. So that's just a little bit of it, but again, I'm happy to talk about transit, a living wage, or our criminal reentry programs, or any of it. But I'm just really pleased to be here. In the election, like you say, is coming up real fast. We've got, I think, fewer than 14 days. I don't think it's
14 days.
I think it's something like that right now.
Days.
So it's coming around the corner real fast. Early voting is open. All the sites are open. We encourage everyone to get out and vote. I hope you consider me, but no matter what, we need everybody to get out and vote. It's your right, and a lot of folks have fought for it, and we need everybody to get out.
It's very important. So I want to start with early education, because education is a big thing here in Memphis. Let's start with early education. What are your plans for early education?
So what we have done is partner with the city of Memphis and external stakeholders to make sure that every 4 and 5-year-old in Memphis and Shelby County has a chance to go to a pre-K classroom. It's a really expensive proposition. Since I've been in office, for example, Shelby County government has devoted more than $30 million to the task. But what it does is it means that everyone gets a head start before they enroll in kindergarten. So if 4-year-old, 5-year-old, regardless of your household income, there is a seat available for you, because Shelby County has invested a great deal of money to make sure that that has happened, along with partners at the city of Memphis and external stakeholders. So our early childhood program, again, is in its 4th year. It kicked off my first year in office, and again, we've devoted millions and millions of dollars to that, and we're really, really proud of the results.
Now, there's a thing with early education, because I worked with Porter Leaf for 2 years, and my son went to early education with Porter Leaf in Shelby County, and they were saying they're separate. And most people say, well, Shelby County is getting ready to take over Porter Leaf. I don't know how that goes, but how does that work? So does Porter Leaf work under Shelby County, or Porter Leaf work by themselves? Because when I was there, they working by themselves.
So you can have a pre-K opportunity from a variety of different providers. One of the biggest providers of pre-K classes in Shelby County is the Shelby County school system. And in doing that work, historically, they had also contracted with other vendors.
Okay.
One of their more important vendors was Porter Leaf. I think they may be doing something a little bit differently now, but Porter Leaf is still out there and still has a bunch of classroom spots available. I think they run a Head Start program, which is typically federally funded. Shelby County government also invest in early Head Start, which is your 3-year-olds and earlier, and we invest with Porter Leaf to administer that program. So the point is that there are lots of pre-K early childhood slots available in Shelby County, and they're administered by a variety of different vendors and organizations like Shelby County School and Porter Leaf.
Okay. I mean, because I have to get it all in before you leave. The next important topic is healthcare, and we know that healthcare it's all over the place right now. Some people are uninsured. They can't get health care. They have to pay for their injections, their medications. And medications are expensive right now. So how will we maneuver around that? So
healthcare is a real top issue right now, and we know that because of what we all experienced in the pandemic. A lot of folks, including me, I'll be honest, were a little bit hesitant to take the shot. And one of the reasons that folks were hesitant when we started to question them and try to figure this thing out was because they didn't have a real good relationship with a trusted medical provider. Before before the pandemic hit.
Right.
So they weren't going to the doctor regularly. They weren't getting regular checkups. And too often, they would wait until their condition worsened, and then they would go to the emergency room. And so that leads to a whole host of issues, by the way.
Yeah.
Not getting that preventive care every year, not going to see your doctor for checkups. It means that conditions that could have been treated by good advice and diet and just, making some different lifestyle changes end up worsening. And those conditions become, heart disease and stroke and diabetes and blindness and amputation. So all that said, what we've discovered is we've got to get people to take care of yourself and to get the preventative care that they need. So if you look at Shelby County and you look at the city of Memphis, you'll find that most people in our historic core don't have that relationship. In fact, if you look at the stats, more than 80% of people don't have that relationship. And so we're working really hard to expand access. And so we're going to be working with UT. We haven't quite made an announcement yet, so I'm kind of spilling the beans a little bit here on your show.
On my show.
But suffice it to say, if I win re-election, we'll be working with UT to create more opportunity for folks to get access to primary health care. And so we can do something about obesity, we can do something about high blood pressure, and we'll be able to do something about some of these things that can be controlled pretty in a straightforward way if you have a trusted doctor or nurse to help you.
Now I'm gonna kind of twist it a little bit, because when you talk about obesity, we have kids that's obese.
Oh, yeah.
And so we need to create programs where they're active all the time, and we don't have that. We don't have that in our city right now. So, and most people are asking me, well, why come we don't have anything for the kids to be active, so that they can lose the weight, but they're not. And so what are some things that we can do that we can probably come up with to help our kids to do something?
Well, we need a lot more programming for the kids. I just read an article the other day about Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace. That's what I heard.
We need it back. We need it back. It was about 2 years ago.
I know. I said, man, that's the kind of thing we need, because the kids were out, safe place,
Right.
skating and exercise and all that kind of stuff, and socializing too. Just a place to go.
Right.
So that's where I'd love to see local government go. I mean, that's really the innovation. Is we need local government to start thinking that way. Like, how do we buy a bowling alley? And make it a safe place for kids to come and enjoy each other, for their families to feel real comfortable with recreation and so forth. How do we get Crystal Palace back open?
Right.
I mean, that's really the place to go. Somewhere along the line, there was the trend to cut the hours at the library. And, a lot of families and kids depend on the library. Go to the library all the time. Get picked up from the library. It's a safe place to be after school.
Right.
But somewhere along the line, we stopped investing in those kind of things, which actually help support families and youth. And we moved on to who knows what. So it's your libraries, it's your community centers. It's all these kind of things that we need to try to bring back. And so I'd love to try to figure out a way to turn around Crystal Palace. When I read that article, I said, that's what local government should be working on.
Right. We should find out, is it still who owns it still?
So I think you're right. It closed down a while ago. So this is
About 2 years ago.
it closed down a while ago, and I'm not sure what's happening with it now. But that's what we need to do for our youth. And the reality is, our youth are getting into too much trouble.
Yeah.
Now we can't throw them away. We need to make sure we remind them that they still have a future ahead of them, and do what we can to support and rehabilitate them. But they're getting into too much trouble, and so we've got to have a continuum of services that support those youth, and we're doing that. We're doing a lot of that in Shelby County government right now. So we've recently opened our Youth and Family Resource Center, which is in Raleigh. It's going to be a place where kids that need additional supports can go. So sometimes kids need counseling, and it's on the range, right? So they need college counseling on the one hand, right? That sometimes they can't get it in their high school because everybody's so busy,
Right.
but they still want to know what happens next.
Right.
And then sometimes kids have had traumas and domestic incidents that happen at home, such that they need professional therapy.
Right.
And so we're hopeful that the Youth and Family Resource Center in Raleigh, we opened it in the Raleigh Library in partnership with the city of Memphis. We're hoping that Youth and Family Resource Center will be be one location where kids can get access to counseling supports and other supports that they may need. It really aligns well with some of the things Shelby County Schools is doing. They're also doing a lot of great work in this area, and they've built up a lot of these kind of supports for kids. So we need to do that. We need to make sure kids are having fun. We need to make sure families are safe. We need to try to bring investment to the neighborhoods. There's a whole plate of stuff to do out there.
Whole lot of stuff.
But I tell people, you got to understand that your politicians, the good ones, are your partner. They're not necessarily Superman.
Right.
Some people say, well, why'd you do it? Why'd you do all of it?
Right.
And I have to be honest with them, because none of the folks you elect are Superman.
Right.
They can't, turn back time or stop a train.
Right.
But you should think of them as your partner. That they are the individuals that will help lead, that will support, activities, support what you have going on in your neighborhood, and we all have to take some ownership and try to, get this thing on the right track.
Now, there's another thing that I brought up a while back, and I don't know if you can get into talk to them to do it, or Shelby County School Board to do it. I was talking about putting traits back into our high schools, where our kids will have at least a part-time summer job, because they're taking these traits. That's in different high schools. One would be nursing, one would be, because I taught, medical assistant and phlebotomy for years. I was teacher at Anthem Career College. And so if we put some of those traits back in schools, where in the summertime we know they got a part-time job, maybe we can just keep them out of trouble there instead of us giving 1,000 kids a job. We got way more than 1,000 kids there.
You're speaking to the choir now. Look now.
Wait.
Now, I should first. We are moving in that direction. We're just not moving fast enough. And we need to have more opportunity for vocational training. So before the pandemic, because the pandemic threw everything off, I personally started a pilot program over at MLK, which is a charter school in the Fraser area. It was a pre-apprenticeship program to teach kids and expose them to the trades. We brought in the kids, we gave them special scholarships, to make sure they were interested. I didn't want them to leave without some money in their pocket and so forth. It was a big success.
Right.
And then the pandemic hit.
That's it.
But we're going to go back to that. We're going to build a vocational classroom in Southeast Shelby County. It'll be in addition to the vocational classrooms we've already built in my last 4 years. We built one at the Office of Reentry. The Shelby County Office of Reentry is in South Memphis on Mississippi, and we built our first vocational classroom there. It is for folks with a criminal history to learn a trade. We teach them small engine repair, which, by the way, is going to come in handy when the Blue Oval opens up out there. So we have that vocational classroom open. If you live in South Memphis or want to partake, please stop by our Office of Reentry, take a tour, take a look at the classroom. We're doing some really great work there with our Executive Director, DeAndre Brown. We're going to build another vocational classroom in Southeast Shelby County. I haven't quite put the finishing touches on where, but this is exactly the kind of thing we're doing. We also have built some vocational classrooms behind the wall, that is in our prison facility. So we've got a barbering class, which is going viral, by the way. We took some pictures. We took some
jail?
Yeah, in the jail. We took some pictures of some of the inmates, getting their degrees and learning how to do and cut hair. And that went viral. I mean, everybody in Memphis and Shelby County was sharing it. Everybody,
I must have missed that.
So we got to do more of that kind of stuff. Go to Office of Reentry, go to their Facebook page. You'll see all of that. We got to do a lot more of that stuff because if you learn a trade, you can make a lot of money. My dad is an HVAC technician, and he's been doing that trade for many years. In fact, if I'm Lee Harris, a lot of y'all know Lee Harris Sr. because he's been over your house to fix things. And with that credential, being an HVAC technician, he never runs out of money. Never runs out of money. And so it has done him well, it's done our family well, and that's the kind of opportunity we need for more youth to have in Memphis and Shelby County.
Now, you said something about our kids, our teenagers are getting into so much trouble. And I think I said something to Pastor Charlie Caswell about it. I said, why come y'all don't go into the high schools and grab these young men and just have a powwow with them? Because they feel like don't nobody love them. They just there. And then they having a hard time reading and doing math. And so they need extra help, but they feel like they don't have any leaders. Because I talked to some of the teens myself. And they was like, well, Ms. Murphy, we just don't feel like we got enough leaders that kind of steer us in the right direction. Because we know many of these kids are either raised by single parents or they're foster kids. But we need to grab the young men because those are ones that get in the most trouble. So how could we bring those young men together from the different schools, bring them together, mentor them, and show them the right way? Because that's where we have to start at, because that's where the most trouble is coming from. How do we work with that?
No, I agree. We need more mentorship, and you mentioned some really good names there. So Charlie Caswell is about to go on the county commission, and I'm sure he's going to make waves in the right way, right? On behalf of the community, right? He's going to cause good trouble. I've been in office now for a while now, 11 years. I was on the city council, and then I was in the state senate before this. And when I was in the city council, I met 3 good men. I met a lot of good men, but I met 3 good men in particular, and 3 ministers. One was Charlie Caswell. He's going to be on the county commission soon. Another one was DeAndre Brown. He's also a minister and the founder of Lifeline to Success, which is a program to help support those with a criminal history. He's the executive director of the Shelby County Office of Reentry, because I appointed him to that position. The third one I met was Michael Ellis. He's the pastor of Impact Church, and I appointed him executive director of our Veteran Services Office. So there are some good men out there, and when I find them, I grab them.
Yeah, you better get them. Because if you don't, that's it. If you don't get them, that's it. That is it. Now, I'm gonna kind of jump off of that subject for a minute, and we're gonna go into this transit system. Because our transit system is jacked up, Mary. Yeah,
it's jacked up.
It is jacked up.
Yeah.
So it's jacked up.
It's jacked up. So transit is one of the most important agencies we've got in town. They pick up 20,000 riders a day. So when you think of your school system, you got over 100,000 kids going to schools every day.
Yeah.
There's no other agency with the impact on our community, except for schools, that transit makes in the lives of families, because it's picking up 20,000 people every single day. Every single day. Now, the problem is, and people are using it to get to work, to get around town, to get to a doctor, to go visit family. Problem is, it takes way too long for them to get to point A to point B. It's unreliable, and so where we have 20,000 riders, we really need 40,000 or 50,000, but we don't get there because the rest of these people can't wait. They can't wait an hour on transit.
And that's what I'm saying. And I had that problem before, because it's like you have to get on the bus at one end and you got to ride it all the way down to the terminal. They should have to ride it down to the terminal. A bus should run every 15 minutes, north, south, east, west.
That's right.
It should run every 15 minutes, which means they should be able to get an hour transfer. And that hour transfer should be able to take them anywhere in the city until that hour transfer runs out. Because therefore, if we got buses running every 15 minutes, everybody can get to work.
That's right.
And so they shouldn't have to ride it to the terminal, get off, get on another bus and take it back the other way. I think that if it's one going this way, one going this way, you got to go this way. You should just be able to get off, go across the street, show that transfer, and then going back the other way. That's what we having problems with. Instead of riding it to the terminal, I don't think we should ride it to the terminal. We should have buses running every 15 minutes, and everybody can get to work.
Well, you know what we need? We got to have money. So
yeah, we got to have some money.
That's what transit needs.
Right.
And when I came in, Shelby County government started investing in MATA for the first time. Never been done before. Big, huge debate. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's got an opinion. But we got to have more money for transit so people can get around. That's how people get the jobs, and jobs is how you keep people safe. The best way to stop a bullet is with a job. With a job.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the root causes of crime are that, the absence of economic opportunity and the absence of a job. And transit is one of the ways we do that. We've surveyed people without a job. We said, what's the major reason you don't have a job? And it always came back, one of the number one reasons is I don't have reliable transportation to get to that job and get back home.
Right.
That's where transit comes in. So we're invested in transit for the first time over in the county. It is not nearly enough. But I'm going to put transit in my budget this time around again. And I'm going to keep investing in transit, keep bringing this issue up until we have an adequate bus system, because you can't have a great city unless you've got public transit. Every great city, Atlanta, New York City, all these folks, they have all kinds of transit.
All transit. So, and I don't think we should have a bus that go across the bridge to West Memphis and bring it back, because they work here.
That's right.
They work here. And so it should be one to go on that expressway and go straight down Broadway, come back around Broadway, and come on back to Memphis. We should be able to have that. because we're a big city. So we should be able to have that kind of money where we can have transit go across the bridge to West Memphis and come on back over here to Memphis so people can get back and forth to work, because West Memphis is Memphis, actually. It's just the west side.
You know a lot about Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
You got some fans in Arkansas.
I got a lot of fans.
You got some fans.
I got a whole lot of fans in Arkansas. That's probably your mic or mine. But I got a whole lot of fans in Arkansas. And so they complain about that too, where they got a job in Memphis, but they got to wait for somebody to pick them up and take them here, bring them here to work. And some got to wait, for somebody to pick them from Memphis and work in West Memphis. So Memphis is actually part of Memphis. That's just the west side.
That's right.
So I think that we should have transit running all through here so that everybody can get to work safely. So I think that matter, we got to, like you said, invest more money. So you being reelected, like you said, put more money into that transit system. Because if we do it that way, then guess what? Our city grows.
That's right.
Shelby County grows.
That's right. And that's another thing, people. I'm gonna bring up a touchy subject. I'm gonna bring it in for a second.
Come on in, bring it in.
I don't want people to be all mad at me.
You fine? They'll be all right.
I'm gonna bring it up for a second. I'm gonna say it once, and I'm gonna move on.
Okay.
Bike lanes.
Oh God!
I know y'all. I know.
Oh.
Hold your horses.
Oh,
I said it, and I meant it. I said it.
Oh God!
But here's the issue is, when you talk about growing a city, Atlanta or Nashville or Chicago, one of these kind of places, what they are doing is they're getting young folks, younger than me, right? I'm 44 this year. They're not they're not really focused on my age demographic. They're focused on the young folks, the under 30 crowd. And we know, we've surveyed them, we've seen it in all these other cities.
Right.
The only way you can get them, you got to have transit that works. They want to be able to take it from time to time.
Right.
They don't want to have a car for every single thing in their life
or
all the time. Yeah, they don't think like that. They don't do that. That's not how you get them. And I'm not gonna say it anymore after this. This is the last time. I won't say it again because I don't want you people mad at me.
I ain't tripping.
Unplugging the TV. The other way you get them is bike lanes.
Yeah.
So I know people say, well, I don't use that bike lane. No one I know uses it. It's not for you.
True.
It's to get the community growing.
To get the ones that ride.
Yeah.
To ride their bikes.
If you go to church and you hear a baby crying, that church is growing.
Yep.
They've got a baby in those pews, which means they've got probably a young family or the next generation coming up in that pews. So a baby crying at a church is a good thing.
Right.
And trying to make sure your city has the right mix of amenities for young folks is a good thing. And so, I just would say have a little bit of grace. I don't want to take away any lanes. I'm not even in charge of that.
But we can still have that lane, though.
Well, I want you to have the lane.
If we add extra lanes, we can still have that bike lane.
Yeah, I'm just saying, let's just have a little race. Let's just consider it.
Because them scooters was working me.
Consider it from time to time. I didn't say scooters.
I know, you're a bike.
It's
a bike.
Yeah.
But but the bike lanes work because I see them going back and forth. They ride those bikes to work, and then they park them and do whatever they do with them. So we still have to, what word I want to use? We have to, what word I want to accommodate them. We want to accommodate everybody. Right. Like you said, this is a working, growing environment, and so we have to find all ways to get everybody back and forth to work safely. Because we got the trains working now. But that ain't doing that. Well, trains is working, but we need more than trains.
That's right. But I did not support the scooters now because people they throw those scooters everywhere.
Right. I didn't support the scooters
either. They
either.
Those scooters all over the place.
Exactly. Well, some of them was on bricks. They stole. They stole the wheels.
They stole the wheels. I don't know what you can do with those wheels. But they got
I seen the scooter propped up on the brick. I said, did they just tear the wheels off?
Yeah, well, that might have been a form of protest. Though.
Wait,
they might not have been going to the pawn shop with the wheels. They may have been protesting the scooters in the neighborhood.
I seen somebody on the expressway on the scooter.
Really?
Yes. Ooh. I said only in Memphis where you can ride a scooter. On the expressway. So that's some of the stuff that we have to deal with. So I didn't support the scooters at all. Bike lanes, yeah. The scooters, I didn't. I didn't want to support that at all. And so, what are some things that you want to implement when reelected?
So one of the things I'd love to see is more services at our Office of Reentry in South Memphis. So we have, we're going to expand that campus. We bought the house next door. It was a blighted property. And so we're going to demolish the blighted property, and we're going to have some community conversations. But at the end of all that, I'm hoping that we'll be able to build a transitional housing facility on that campus, because what we have heard from a lot of folks is when they return to the community after having served some time, it's hard to find a place to stay for everybody real quickly.
Right.
So if we had a transitional housing place, a safe, clean, comfortable place for folks in transition to have as a backup, I think that'd be real good. It'd be an additional service that the Office of Reentry could provide. And we're looking at other vocational opportunities so that a lot of folks with criminal history will have a skill set such that they don't recidivate. So, recidivism is a huge problem. It's not the first crime, because a lot of folks, their first crime is not really a violent offense. It's kind of, it's a drug
minor
offense, stuff like
offense,
that.
right.
Yeah,
but misdemeanor.
But it disrupts their entire life because they could be waiting for a trial for a very long time, and you can't keep a job if you're waiting for a trial in jail. So their whole life is disrupted, and then when they get out, it's hard to reintegrate back into our community. And so that's when you have to really pour in the supports so that they can get back into the economy, get a job, be able to take care of themselves, and not consider committing a second offense. Because that second offense, like when you go through the system a second time or a third time, it's more likely that second offense is going to be a violent offense.
Yeah.
You're going to put a gun in somebody's face. Whereas before, you were just, it was just drugs. Somebody caught you with some drugs. But that second time, it could be dangerous. And somebody could be a victim out there. And so that's what we got to really try to get our arms around. And the best way to do that is to make sure that we have appropriate services for those with a criminal history.
Okay, because I heard you talk about that at the fundraiser, so that's why I said I need to just ask them about that so that everybody could hear, exactly what you got going on here in the city. And so that's one of the questions I want to ask, when you were elected, what you want to change.
That's right.
Some things. And
you said I do the green room.
Yeah, you're gonna do it in a minute.
Okay.
Oh, you want?
I see the green room.
You know what? I'm going to commercial break, and I'm gonna let him do this commercial break, because when we come back from the commercial break, I want to ask you about the gun laws.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Okay.
Come on, Mary Lee Harris, go ahead.
All right, I'm taking you to a break. 3, 2, 1. To the break.
Can you actually imagine hosting your next event at the all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center? Yes, spacious, beautiful venue with plenty of parking, located in the heart of East Memphis. Let us host your next intimate birthday gathering, family repast, bachelorette party, wedding and reception, baby shower, corporate meeting, social club event. Call us today. Don't wait. 901-244-6874. The all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center.
And we're back here watching the Towanna Murphy Show right here on SVP TV, Comcast 1731, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Prime, On Demand, YouTube, and Facebook Live. And again, you're back with my mayor, Shelby County Mayor, Mary Lee Harris. I have another question before I let you get out of here. And I wanted to talk about gun crime, the gun violence in our city, and the law that, you might not agree with it, or you may agree with it, but a lot of us disagree with that permitless carry. And then we just wanted to know how you felt about that, because a lot of people are running scared in our city. How can we deal with that?
Yeah, so we have too many guns out there, and we have no regulation of it right now. And it's gotten worse and worse over the years. I was in the state senate fighting hard to have us take a reasonable approach, and we haven't done that. So we started with guns in parks. Basically, you could bring a gun to any park you wanted to, which also was guns in parks and buses. Then we moved to guns in cars, and so that led to all sorts of problems for the police, because everybody was leaving their guns in their cars and they weren't locking them up. And so now people are breaking in these cars. You see 50 break-ins in a car? they're looking for guns.
Right.
That's because that's a valuable thing you can sell. And now we have, like you say, what they call constitutional carry. I call it guns on street corners because it prevents officers from engaging with someone that they see with a gun.
Yeah.
You know, before the law was passed, officers could easily come up to someone they see carrying a weapon and say, you know, hey, what's going on with you?
Right.
You know, are you supposed to be out here like this?
Exactly.
But when you say it's legal for everybody to carry a gun in every context, well, they have no real probable cause to even investigate what's happening in the neighborhoods, what's happening on the street corners. So it really undermines the work of law enforcement and makes us all less safe. And because a lot of these guns are stolen, it puts a lot of these illegal weapons out into the stream. So, yeah.
Now, Mayor Lee Harris has to go, and I have to tell him I'm a professional here. I got this. Mayor Lee has to go, but before you go, give them the last spiel and to encourage them to re-elect you.
Well, I am honored to be the mayor of Shelby County. We're not just the largest county in our state, we are the greatest county in our state, and we are a very special place because of the people. And so I would love for everyone to consider me. I'm homegrown, a product of the Memphis city school system, and the son of a high school guidance counselor, Dorothy Harris, high school guidance counselor, class of 1968, Lemoyne College, and the son of Lee Harris, air conditioning and heating repairman. So I know this community well from Whitehaven and really want to continue to serve. No matter what, we need everyone to get out and vote. Thanks very much, Towanna, for having me from the best show on television. So I'm really pleased to be here, and I can't wait to.
Can you actually imagine hosting your next event at the all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center? Yes, spacious, beautiful venue with plenty of parking, located in the heart of East Memphis. Let us host your next intimate birthday gathering, family repast, bachelorette party, wedding and reception, baby shower, corporate meeting, social club event. Call us today. Don't wait. 901-244-6874. The all-new SVP Banquet and Event Center.
And we're back. You're watching the Towanna Murphy Show right here on SVP TV, Comcast 17, Comcast 31, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Prime, On Demand, YouTube, and Facebook Live. You can watch this show all over the world. And if you missed the show, guess what? You can just go back, download our app from your Apple phone, Android phone, or your smart TV. Download SVP TV, and you can watch the show all over again if you would like. I would like to thank Mayor Lee Harris for being my Shelby County Mayor, Mayor Lee Harris, for being my guest again today. And he was informative, he was straight to the point, and he let y'all know what's going down. Before I go into piggyback off of what Mayor Lee Harris said, I just wanted to go into Connor's Cleaning Services. Connor's Cleaning Services is a licensed and trusted service. They specialize in cleaning office buildings, medical offices, factories, warehouses, churches, schools, hotels, car dealerships, daycare centers, bowling alleys, movie theaters, and they offer night cleaning, emergency cleaning, and day services, midday services. So if you need any of those services, give Mr. Connor a call at 901-596-9297. That's 901-596-9297. Give Mr. Connor a call. He will be glad you called. And if you mention Towanna Murphy Special, he will give you the best discount to clean your offices. If you just mention the Towanna Murphy Special, he will take care of you. And now we're back into the show. Mayor Lee Harris touched on some things that I have been concerned about for a while, which is gun control and permitless carry. Those are things that we really need to do away with because we're dealing with that every day. We have kids losing their lives. And I'm talking fast because I need to slow down. But we have kids losing their lives to gun violence. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves right there, is gun violence. Too many of our kids are losing their lives to guns off the street because people are allowed to carry the guns permitless. We have to keep burying our children, and I don't think we should be burying our children. Our children should be burying us. But yet and still, we're burying our children, and we shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't have to do that. Our kids should be able to live a prosperous, happy life. They should be able to walk the streets freely, go to the store, have races, ride their hoverboards, whatever the boards is, be on their skates, ride their bikes in their neighborhoods without being gunned down. We should be able to do that. Our kids should be able to play. We should be able, as parents, to sit on the porch and watch our kids and drink Kool-Aid and talk crazy and wave flies out of the way. Or we should be able to do that freely without being afraid to sit on our front porches because some fool gonna come through there shooting crazy. Sometimes they're not shooting at nobody. They just shooting because they just want to shoot. We should be able to do that. We're losing too many of our kids to gun violence, and this has to be dealt with. We have to do something about this. That was the questions that I wanted to ask. Those are the questions that I needed to ask. And I was grateful that Mary Lee Harris answered those questions because those are relevant questions. Every question I asked today were relevant questions and things that we asked and that we deal with on a regular basis in this city. And so he answered those questions profoundly. Crime, healthcare, education. Those are the biggest things that we deal with in Shelby County, in Memphis. We deal with those big issues every single day. We deal with them. And now we have to find ways to minimize it. I hate to turn on the TV. Can I tell y'all, I have not watched the news in months. Anytime I get some news, I'll go to Google. I can Google it. You know, our phone got the little thing where they show us the updates of the stories. I don't even watch the news anymore because I don't want to look at it, because every time I turn it on, somebody's being killed. I don't even think we got too much positive on there right now. Election season is here. We're in early voting. Next week is the last week of early voting. And we have to deal with that. We have to see who's going to sit in those seats. My girl Erica Sugarman, who is running for County Commissioner District 12, I encourage you to vote for her. I encourage you to vote for her. I think that she'll do an amazing job as a commissioner. She will be a great county commissioner. Charlie Caswell, who's running for county commissioner, vote for him. Get him. Let's get him in office. Let's get Charlie Caswell in office. Let's get Erica Sugarman in office, and let's get George Summers in office. His time don't come until May 3rd. May 3rd, he's running for Register of Deeds, and so that's his time to shine. That's his time to shine, because now he's on the ballot for the general election, which starts May 3rd, and so we have to do something different. We got to change the city. We got to change how we move. We got to move differently. And if you heard what I said about the transit system, we need buses running every 15 minutes. I'm just going back and touching on what Mary Lee Harris just touched on. Every 15 minutes, we need to see that. Every 15 minutes, we need to see a bus running so people can get to work or get to wherever they need to get to, because that's been our problem right there. That's how we got crime and poverty here. Because guess what? Our transit system don't work. It sucks. Our transit system sucks. And we need to change that. We need to change it. And the only way to change it is get funding in there. Like he said, if we get that funding in there, we can get enough funding where the buses can run every 15 minutes, north, south, east, west. Like I just said, the west. We need a bus going across that bridge to West Memphis, because there's a lot of people that live in West Memphis that work in Memphis. There's a lot of people that live in Memphis that work in West Memphis. So we need those transit systems moving all directions, north, south, east, west. An hour and 20-minute transfer should be able to get you to work one way, and it should be able to get you back home one way, because you got an hour and 20 minutes on that transfer. And it may even get you some other places if you still got time, because if the buses is running every 15 minutes, guess what? You got time to get to wherever you need to get to and go somewhere else. We got to have an effective transit system in this city. And like I told Mary Lee Harris, West Memphis is still Memphis because it's West Memphis. Memphis is north, south, east. And when you get west, that's West Memphis, Arkansas. But West Memphis is still West Memphis, is still part of Memphis. Which means we need a bus runner over there too. We need a bus runner. What I want to say, down at E-Way, off Broadway. If we get it down the E-Way, the old bridge, down Broadway, all the way down Broadway, turn around down Broadway, get back on that E-Way and come on back and get off. It's a straight shot, really. It is a straight shot. It's a straight shot. If we got a bus running over there, all the way down Broadway to the end of Broadway in West Memphis, come on back around and come on back and do what it do. Straight shot. It's a straight shot. It's doable. But I would say with that doability, that means West Memphis and Memphis need to work together with putting this money into that transit system. Now, this is just me thinking now, y'all. This is Murphy's thinking. If West Memphis and Memphis get together on this transit system to put money in the transit system, we can make it work for everybody, not just Shelby County and Memphis, but we can also make it work for West Memphis. That's just me thinking. Oh, y'all know I think outside the box, right? I'm an outside the box thinker. That's how I think. I never think things in the normal. I think things in the, I'm abnormal, as I would say. I am abnormal. I think outside the box, and some work. I got ideas. I got a whole lot of ideas. But with the transit system to make it work for West Memphis and Memphis, all we need to do is that. That's it. That's all we need to do. If West Memphis and Memphis invest in this MATA transit system and West Memphis transit system, it can work for both cities, because they call us the twin cities. So it'll work. It absolutely would work. I'm just saying. It's doable. I'm just saying it is doable. We can make it work. Y'all got to think big, Mary Lee Harris. Think big. Well, Mayor Strickland, he finna go in a minute. So, ain't worry about that. Mayor McClendon, Mayor Strickland, Mary Lee Harris, if y'all think big, if y'all think outside the box and work together with the MATA transit system, we can make it work for everybody. It can work for everybody, not just Memphis. It can work for West Memphis and whatever they want to call their transit system, because it'll be a MATA West Memphis transit system. It don't matter. What matters is if they come together with this transit system, it can work for everybody. Everybody be able to get to work. Everybody be able to get to do what they need to do. And then whatever West Memphis is going to do extra on their transit system, then they can do that. But as far as Memphis, one straight shot around down Broadway, come on back. Come on back across that E-Way and get on back to Memphis, and everybody can get to work. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We got to do something different. We got to move different. We got to think outside the box. We got to make sure it works for everybody. That's all I can say. That is all I can say. Let's just make it work. Let's make it work. And if we make it work, I guarantee you, both cities can thrive from that. Both cities can thrive. We can do it. If we put our mind to it, we can do it. And we can make it work for everybody. So I'm just piggybacking off of what Mary Lee Harris just said, versus going around and doing my own little thing. I just wanted to make sure I touched on everything that he touched on, healthcare, making it more affordable for our people to get healthcare, because he stressed one fact. The fact is that a lot of people don't like to go to the doctor. They hate going to the doctor unless it's serious, then they'll go. But a lot of people hate to go to the doctor. They don't want to go. They don't want to go. Because they don't want to go, it makes it hard. Affordable health care, affordable medications. All of that ties into what we're doing right now in Memphis and Shelby County. We got to do something. We got to find funding from somewhere to make sure that everything that we are trying to accomplish, it works for us. That is why it is important for these early elections. That is why it's important for us to get the right people in office that's going to fight for us, that's going to do the right things and make sure everything that we are looking for, everything that we need is done. Some people say it's easy. I don't know, because I'm not sitting in those seats. So I don't know how easy it is. Some people, with us, they will say, it's an easy fix. Yeah, it could be an easy fix. Could be. Keyword, could be an easy fix. But is it an easy fix? Because we're not sitting in them seats. So we don't know if it's an easy fix or not. Because we're not sitting in those seats. Because once they get in the seats, they got other different rules that they got to abide by to make things happen for us. I'm just saying. So I don't know what it takes once you get into office. And I know you got to get approval from all these other different people. A whole lot of people involved in this improvement and approving things. And it's got to go through the finance committee. Wait, I'm talking about church now. Because, church, we know the finance committee. Oh, it's got to go through the finance committee. Yeah, at church, y'all can't get no money unless it goes through the finance committee. Somebody in the finance committee got to approve it. So it's got to go through the finance committee, the aldermen. Somebody got to approve this money. So I don't know what all entails when you are an elected official in order to get things like that approved. I know you got to talk to somebody here, you got to talk to somebody there, y'all got to make some deals, or I don't know. I ain't in the office. But I know it's a transition. I know it just don't work overnight. I know that you can't, Mayor Lee Harris can't override the aldermen and the people in the city council and city officials. He can't just override them, or the county commissioners. He can't just override them and say, this is what I want to do, I'm going to override it. I'm the mayor. I'm going to override it because I'm the mayor. He can't do that. There's still protocol. And you got to follow protocol. But when you get too big for yourself that you can't follow protocol because you the mayor. Mayor Lee Harris was saying to me earlier, you can't override your aldermen. I can't make decisions because I'm the mayor and say, I'm the mayor. I can't just override. I can't override. He can't override. And things have to be done decent and in order. He can't override. So with that being said, election is here. We got to the 28th, and I hate thunder and lightning. But we got to the 28th. I forgot my umbrella. We got to the 28th to get this done. Vote for Charlie Caswell, County Commissioner, District 6. Erica Sugarman, County Commissioner, District 12. George Summers, Register of Deeds. Those are my people right now. And who else I got? I got a few more people coming. Got a few more. I'm just waiting on deposits. But I'll let y'all know who the rest of them are next week. Got a few more in pocket. Mayor Lee Harris, got a few more people in pocket. As of next week. So I just want to make sure that we get the bulk of this, we get the gist of this. Vote. Get out there and vote, because our voting is important. Our local officials, our local elections are important. We gotta do better with that. We gotta get out there. I don't know how long the lines are. Not yet anyway. I'm going to vote tomorrow because I know who I'm voting for. I know my vote. You ain't got to give me no paperwork. You ain't got to run up to me and say, oh, here. No, I know exactly who I'm voting for. I know who I'm voting for. I ain't going to tell y'all, but I know who I'm voting for. I know who I'm voting for. Adrian, how many minutes I got? 3 minutes. Yeah, I got 3 minutes. I got to get on up out of here. Look, I think my eyelash going to fall off. I think my eyelash going to fall off. One time my eyelash was so, it fell off. It was like this. I couldn't even see out the eyeball. It was like this. Y'all, my eyelash, there was this eyelash too. One day it fell off, it was like blue. I was talking, the eyelash came all the way down. I had to go to commercial break. I said, can I go to commercial break? Because my eyelash was coming off and it got wet. I want to thank y'all for watching the Towanna Murphy Show, because I got 3 minutes and it's storming out there. Angel got to get to the other side of town and I got to get home. And so I just want to thank y'all for watching the Towanna Murphy Show. I got to get out of here. I got 2 minutes left now. If you would like to advertise or sponsor the Towanna Murphy Show, please give me a call at 901-437-2717. That is 901-437-2717. Listen, it has been an amazing show. Thank you, Mary Lee Harris, for coming. Again, if you would like to be a guest on my show, call me, 901-437-2717. That's 901-437-2717. Remember, news is news. Facts are facts. Miss Ruby sung the blues, and Towanna gonna bring you the news. Until next week, good night and better tomorrows.